Hello and welcome to another episode of Today You Learned. So this is actually a follow-up on the previous script or previous demo where I demonstrated a scanner that is on my GitHub, a fingerprinter for VMware products. In that video, which will be linked down in the description of this video, I actually demonstrated this enumeration script. So let me show you that enumeration script. It's actually on my GitHub right here, of course. So this fingerprinter, we can actually specify an entire subnet if you want. It's multi-threaded and it finds all the ESXi hosts, which is actually the hypervisor running the actual virtual machines, which is of course what the hackers are mostly after, and the vCenter server, which is the software used to manage those ESXi hosts. So in this video I actually want to show you post exploitation part. So remember, if you go back into the previous video, we ended where we were roots inside this environment, inside this vCenter server. So inside this vCenter server we were root, and we actually want to gain access to the virtual machines on this ESXi host. And there are actually two different ways or several ways how to do this, and one that I want to show in this video is called the decryptor. So what actually happens is, this ESXi host, if we want to get access to this ESXi host, we can just pop up any browser that we want, copy paste an IP address of a vCenter server and then onto the ESXi host and then try to log in. The default username is root without a password, which of course will not work because this is already being used or been used by a vCenter server, by this organization. So this is not correct, and the root user is also not the user that vCenter server itself uses to connect to an ESXi host. As a matter of fact, when a vCenter server installation connects to an ESXi host, it creates a new user called a vpxuser with its own generated password, and that password is encrypted, encoded and stored on the hard drive of the vCenter server, to be fair, inside a Postgres database. So I actually created this script to try and get onto the vCenter server to decrypt it. So let me go inside our vCenter server right here. Let's download that decryptor script on our machine like this. So let's see if that script has a help, which it should. Of course it's Python 3, but it doesn't really matter in this case. So this script runs as root, preferably, don't really have to automatically find all the details right here to decrypt those host passwords and usernames. So as soon as you use options, it doesn't have to be root. If you are not comfortable downloading this script onto a production vCenter server, it's equally useful in manually downloading those files and then feeding them as options into the decryptor script, and that should also work. Okay, so if I just run it without any options, it should be able to find the password for the Postgres database. That's important. Find the version, which we already know. Found the AES decryption key for those passwords, which is in a file somewhere. And using that key, we can, and then of course access to the database, we can get a list of all the hosts, the username, and then the corresponding clear text passwords. So if you go back to the host that we just tried to log into, which was apparently 23. So 23 is apparently the last one right here. So I copy pasted it. Let's go back here and let's see if we can get access to our ESXi host, which would be this IP address, using that user. Copy paste the password, and yes, we are in. So we can now do whatever we want. We are, of course, ideas. It's not a full Linux environment, so not all Linux options are available. But if you want to have a look at the shadow file, this works. This kind of proves that we are now a root user or a main user inside that ESXi host, and we can even use this user to log into the web interface like this, Ctrl V, and as you can see, we have full access to the virtual machines that are hosted on this host. Right. In the next video, I will actually get access from this console, get access to the vCenter server, full web interface as administrator. So keep tuned for that video. And as always, of course, keep learning. Thank you.